Welcome to Simply Good, Cooking with Rebecca. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make capellini pomodoro. It's a pasta dish with the tomato, basil, and olive oil sauce. It's really light, so it's perfect for the summertime, and it's quick and easy to prepare. First thing you want to do is get a pot of water on to boil for your pasta. Then you want to turn a pan on to medium-low to warm some olive oil. I'm using a nice wide flat pan. I like to toss the pasta in with the sauce when I'm done. If you don't have a pan like this, a small skillet or small saucepan work fine. So you just want to add your olive oil, about 4 tablespoons or about a 1/4 cup, and keep that on a medium-low heat. You don't want your olive oil to get too warm and burn while you're preparing your other ingredients. First step is chop some onion. You're going to use about 1/2 an onion. I'm using yellow. It's what I had. White or red work great. Red adds some nice color. Shallots are also delicious. They're a little bit more expensive. So 1/2 an onion or probably 2 shallots would be about the amount you want in this dish. You want to fine dice. So you don't want to bite into a big piece of onion. It doesn't need to be minced, just a nice fine dice. Alright, once your onion's chopped, you're going to add that to your olive oil. And you're not trying to caramelize the onion, you just want to cook them until they're nice, soft, translucent, but you don't really want any brown color on them. So just keep your onion. And this should take about 5 minutes, which is also about the time it takes for the capellini to cook. I'm going to salt my pasta water. I don't always salt my pasta water, but with a light dish like this, I feel like it's good if the pasta has a little bit of flavor itself, so I like to add. And that's actually the only salt I add to the dish. Alright, so now we can come back and prep the rest of our ingredients. We're going to need some garlic. Probably 1 large clove or 2 smaller ones. This one's fairly large, so it'll be fine. Alright, after your garlic is peeled, we're going to press that into the onion a little later after that's cooked a little more. We're going to chop some tomatoes. I use grape tomatoes. One important thing for this dish, you really want to use a nice high quality tomato. The grape tomatoes are generally good. They're nice and sweet. They're easy to chop. You only have to cut them in half. But you don't want to use just the cheapest tomato at the grocery store that day, because the flavor of the tomato is really highlighted in this dish. So a garden fresh tomato or maybe a tomato from your farmer's market is what you want to use. You just want to make sure that it's a nice, good tasting tomato. So like I said, you only have to cut these in half, makes them really easy. Alright, now my tomatoes are all chopped. I've used a little over a pint here, and that'll go with a pound of pasta and feed about 4 people. Or if you're using a larger tomato, you know, a couple of those. But a little over 1 container of these. Alright, next I'm going to get my basil. And we're going to chiffonade or the basil, or just cut it into little thin strips. I like to buy my basil in the plant form as opposed to the fresh little packs at the grocery store. I find that this is cheaper, and if I don't use it right away, it sits on my kitchen counter and doesn't go bad in my fridge. So chiffonade the basil, you just want to grab a few leaves, roll it up, and then you just slice it. Alright, I've got my basil chopped. I'm just going to set that aside. It's the last thing to go in the dish because you don't want it to become brown and colorless. It's really nice to pop a green if it stays fresh. Next thing, we're going to add our garlic and tomatoes to our olive oil and onions. Alright. Our onions have cooked up nicely. They're nice translucent and they're soft, so you know they're ready. I like to press my garlic. I find that it's easier, but if you don't mind mincing, that works great too. I just find that this is easier for me. Put your garlic, just give that a little stir in with the onions. Next, go in the tomatoes. And you want to drop your tomatoes just before you strain your pasta. So my pasta is ready. I'm just going to let that cook while I drain my pasta, and then I'm going to add the pasta directly to them. Once your pasta is drained, you can just add it right to the pot. Gets a few grinds of black pepper. Toss it together. I find tongs are the easiest thing for that. At this point, you can actually turn your heat off. Put it, sprinkle in your basil. And that's it, Capellini Pomodoro. It's quick, simple, and simply